And media analyst and CEO Encase Consulting, Ike Ogbuebile, joins me from Washington, D.C. via Skype to discuss this. Good to have you join us, Ike Ogbuebile.
Hi, Precious. Hi, nice to have me too.
Let me start by asking you, because we've seen several social media hashtags. They come, stay for like a week or a month, and then, they disappear and we move on to other issues. But for this particular situation, George Floyd's death, it has lingered for a year, even after he has gotten justice. There continues to be calls and just protest about Black Lives Matter. Why do you think that this has lasted this long and continues to spark widespread activism?
Well, the case of George Floyd is what one can see as being the tip of the iceberg. In other words, this has been going on for quite a while in the United States of America. And what has happened here is George Floyd's case happened at a particular time when the whole world were at home and were able to watch and see what happened. Now, you've seen the process. It has started to unveil other issues that have come up, other cases. The last one of Mr. Green that was killed and by police brutality and covered up as a car accident 2 years ago, and that one just came to the surface just a couple of weeks ago. So with the George Floyd case, it's not just about George Floyd as a person. It is all the George Floyds, all the people who have lost their lives by what I would call bad policing. So it's a movement. It's part of a transformation that is taking place in the United States and in the world, generally speaking.
All right, so let's also look at the fact that there has been several calls for bills to be passed for this to happen. But before we even get to the bill, some people still don't think that this is an issue. Some people say, look, this is just an opportunity to make people feel guilty. How do you get everyone on the same page on this?
Well, look at it from this angle, Precious. Just last weekend alone, there were 12 mass shootings in the United States. 12, over a dozen mass shootings in the U.S. It's not about race only. It's not about religion. It's actually it's almost like a pandemic hitting America again with the mass shootings in the United States of America. And because of that, the bills have to be addressed. The Policing Act has to be addressed. But it's the Second Amendment of the United States which says you have a right to bear arms. No one is saying take away the guns per se, because that's where the bigger issue is. There's money involved in it. There's politics involved in it. What we're saying is let the guns fall into the hands of people who have been actually assessed or processed well. So the guns don't fall into the hands of bad people or people who are not mentally stable enough to control themselves. That's what the issue is. The shooting has gone on for years and years and years and years in the United States. But all of a sudden, you've seen this mass shootings taking place across the country. And something has to happen. There has to be an intervention of some point to change the whole narrative. If not, it's going to continue going on. And Black people, for some reason, have been on the receiving end. Both in our communities, both in the way policing has been handled. It's a major impact out here in the United States. And something has to be done. Laws need to be passed.
What kind of message do you think that this has passed across to? Because even after the death of George Floyd, we've seen several deaths after that, occasioned by use of force by police officers. So it just continues to wonder. Do you think that people really get this message, or those who matter really get this message?
Well, they will get it. The whole idea is to stay in the public eye until the point where they actually get the message. You can't retrieve. The problem is in the past, you show up one, and then the news cycle changes, and somebody else comes on, and it's a new day. You have to keep it in the eyes of the media. The people have to get it. It's not about George Floyd, may his soul rest in peace, alone. It's all the George Floyds that have taken place. And that's why you see after George Floyd, several cases have come up. One after the other, and it's happening. Why? Because it's systematic. It's already in the system. This racial profiling or religious profiling, whatever it is that they have in place, has to change. The Policing Act has to come into place, where police officers and people in the community begin to realize that there has to be a change of some sort. If not, the results and the outcome will still remain the same, Precious.
Absolutely, and we hope that Congress can pass the bill just in time. We're hoping, we're watching now to see how that plays out. It's always great talking to you.
They're working on something right now. You can see they're pushing for a bipartisan legislation to take place. Both Republicans and Democrats are working hand in hand together to see some kind of transformation.
And we see Senator Koribuka working on that. We'll see how that plays out. It's always great talking to you. CEO Encase Consulting, Ike Ogbuebile, thanks for talking to us.
Thanks for having me.